Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal.
I'm Mark.
I'm Zoe. We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom. We share inspiration, we share struggles, we brainstorm solutions. We would love to have you join us. Welcome to a brand new school year, listeners. We're thrilled to be checking in with you. Yay! After a few weeks off, I think we went into full hibernation mode, to be honest with you. I know I did. Yeah. Oh, totally needed it. Completely unplugged. Didn't even look at Facebook for weeks. So it's been really good to kind of emerge and check on the world at large. And I think the word is brace ourselves for the year and the coming impact, which has now fully exploded on me and Jonathan and will be exploding on Mark very soon.
Yes.
Right.
To gird our loins. I'm not a real teacher yet, guys, so it's fine.
Oh, man.
That's definitely not true.
There was thought. There's thought. It wasn't just Mark was taking a vacation. There's thought behind why I didn't start teaching this week. I'll get to it later.
Oh,
right, we'll get through
I'm
it.
not a real teacher, but okay.
Well, that too.
We'll get into it. But we just wanted to check in with each other and find out how the 2020-2021 school year is off. Because, I mean, it started.
Yeah,
sure did.
We can
indeed.
say that it began. We can say that with certainty.
I don't really know if it ever, if 2019, 2020 ever ended. That's the thing. And so that's the weird part. It just bled into, I guess we're teaching school again. This is an awkward transition.
I remember you saying you didn't feel like you had a summer, John.
No
Yeah.
summer. Yeah.
No, we went pretty
Did you,
hard.
Mark?
Or at least you, John, went a lot harder than I did in the summer with all your projects. I probably didn't start summering until mid to late July. And then in August, we decided to take a couple trips to see some family. And I was basically gone all of August. And it was really great to be gone and to kind of just be with family, to clear our mind. Fortunately, we're not in a one-bedroom apartment anymore. We're actually in a house that we're renting. And I think Brianna and I would have killed each other if we were still in the one-bedroom apartment with Gemma. That would have just been terrible. But we just got kind of tired of our space. And so we went and saw some family, celebrated a college graduation in Texas. And it was really, really good.
Cool. You know you're a millennial when you use the word like summering.
Summering.
Yes. I'm sure that there'll be a newsletter written out like, millennials are killing the summers by calling it summering. Anyways.
Probably.
Yep.
Right along with
fine.
Chili's, right?
And tuna.
And tuna. We're killing tuna?
And
I
cable.
heard that
We've
one.
killed a lot of things, apparently.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
millennials for the win. We're just getting rid of things that aren't good anymore.
There we go.
I didn't feel like it was summer until I took Facebook off my phone, but I do try to take a bit of a summer detox every year. So I took Facebook and Instagram off my phone, and I turned off my school email, and I did not log in or check it for a couple of weeks. And I'm really glad that I did that because I was just feeling so overloaded with all of the notifications and all the screen time. I felt dizzy by the end of the day. So yeah, it was good to come back into it and feel like I had some boundaries set. So we tried really hard to unplug as much as we could. We didn't really go anywhere. We had a couple days up in the mountains. We got a cabin in the middle of nowhere.
A cab?
Gave it a try. A cab.
He was like, hey, on the mountains. Come on, let's go. Hail on a cab. Anyways.
Mountain.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like my summer was very short. I was working on a lot of projects. I don't remember what I shared.
You moved?
We moved, yes. I forgot that.
Minor detail.
We moved. So welcome to the new aesthetic, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot that happened. That was that. There was also, I was working on like these virtual choirs just to bring the community back in, kind of like, because I know a lot of kids were just not feeling it. So I was trying to bring some joy, and then I overpromised. But like, similar to you, Crystal, I finally had a trip to drive up to Northern California, and I swear, like, when you're driving up the 5, I don't know who's listening or if you know what the 5 is. You probably know what the 5 is, but anyways, you're driving up the 5 north, and you're just going through LA, and then you finally hit the Grapevine, and once the Grapevine just opens up, it's just I'm on the road again. I've missed the mountains. It's a lovely feeling to be back on the road. And I miss traveling. I miss it. Every summer I travel somewhere else, and this one has just been a butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our fall
Yeah,
break. We normally go somewhere during fall break, and we were talking about, I was like, oh, not going to happen this year. Yeah. Sorry, Crystal.
I know. No, it's okay. We had a big family trip that got canceled this summer, so it was disappointing for sure, because we definitely love hopping on planes. But it's just all about rewriting, I think, how we live right now in every aspect of our lives. And I think that's kind of where maybe I'd like to focus our conversation today. Is I'd kind of like to hear from you guys about the tension that you're walking in your life. So I just wrote an article for Teaching with Orf, and I talked about just the tension that I'm walking with trying to draw boundaries in my life with our new reality, with teaching, and then with having my boys home full time. And so balancing that, like, working life and motherhood in a way that I've never had to before, because now it's like, okay, do all of that and do it without childcare, which is just crazy. And they're older, they're, second and third grade. And so not old enough to be completely independent, definitely still have to keep an eye on them. But definitely big enough to cause some destruction if left to their own devices too long. You really have to watch them. And so it's been like the ultimate game of parenting tag. And I remember one of the primary reasons I had to remove social media from my phone was I'm a part of all of these music teacher groups on Facebook, and I'm friends with all these brilliant music teachers all across the country. And I was watching, and music teachers are my favorite people because they are just the most ingenuitive people. And they were going hard on, we are going to redesign how we do music class. And they were making these homemade instrument kits. And the stuff that they were coming up with, they were getting the cost of these instrument kits down to like $1.50 a kid. And they were doing things like zip tying jingle bells onto bracelets and getting dowel rods and making little streamer things with them and cutting out all these laminated manipulatives. And I'm watching my children over here like destroy my home and like thinking about everything that I have to do. And I'm like, I can't handle this. I can't even handle the thought of pouring that kind of time and energy, let alone money, because there wouldn't have been money to pay for something like that from my school, into that right now during my summer. I need to unhook from this. And I felt really guilty about that, because normally I'm the first one to hop on the new teaching ideas and like lead the charge. But I was kind of consumed by it. And then I just had this thought that was like, you know what? I'm a really good teacher and I love my kids. And just because I don't want to sacrifice what little summer I have right now doesn't mean that I'm a bad teacher. I'm a good teacher, and I'm not going to sacrifice my time and my mental health and my finances for my job. And I'm going to start thinking that way now. So that's kind of what I wrote in the article. And it's not at all to say, like, if you made those homemade instrument kits, like, good for you. Right. I know that they were really appreciated. I've seen a lot of people posting about how much their kids love them. I just couldn't do that for me. So that was kind of the tension I was walking. What do you think? Does that resonate with you guys? And have you felt that? And are you kind of balancing a paradox, I guess, this year, where you've had to kind of separate, like, what you can do?
Yeah, I feel like for me, the paradox that I'm or the line that I'm walking is just that if you've known anything or if you listen to this podcast, I'm hoping that you gathered some semblance that I'm very much a community individual. I very much care about the community that I exist in. And right now, it seems like, not so much in contrary to what you're having, Crystal, but more so just a lot of people are. I'm around a lot of people that are kind of just focusing on the end to make sure that they're healthy. But as someone who's so community oriented, as I try to pull these events and try to create these events to make sure that those who don't have the means to be creative on their own or don't have the means to do X on their own, as everyone's kind of siloing in, I feel like I'm the only one pulling these ropes to make these things work. And like, things don't happen by one person. Community is not one person. Otherwise, it's just a John Seligman show, which is something I hate. And so I've been struggling this line that I'm trying to pull, and trying to make things happen so that the community is healthy. But if I'm getting no support, then it's not a community effort. And so that's just, I guess I'm walking the line of, should I continue pulling, or should I just focus on myself, or should I do things different? How can I don't like using this word, but how can I politic better to encourage people to girdle their loins, or, as you were talking about earlier, just like pull through and just help
loins
each other
on a podcast.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, it's girdle the loins, not girdle the loins. But yeah, like, it's a struggle, because I really want to give my all, but if no one else is coming along the way, then this is not a movement. This is just a crazy man trying to make things happen.
So it's just recalibrating all of that and reimagining what it looks like. And also, you are definitely the kind of person who gets everybody to do things and are always the one stressing out in the middle of all of it.
Me? Stress out?
And so doing that, while we're all separated in our houses, it just must be a completely disorienting feeling. I understand. I can see that.
Also, like, businesses in general, whenever they are not in person, they are just not as productive. So a community that's not in person is just not as efficient. And so, like, oh, can you do this via email as opposed to speaking to someone in person? Like, it's just so many things fall apart.
It's true.
It's interesting you say that. I was at my school yesterday, and I had a couple of questions for my principal. And I stood up and I grabbed my mask and I was walking to my door, and I was like, wait a minute. I should probably just send this in an email to limit person-to-person interaction. So it's just interesting, because yes, like, my natural instinct is to go, is to talk, is to be face-to-face and to have that, but trying to be aware and considerate of how many interactions I need to have face-to-face, or how many interactions can happen just via an email. It's interesting that you say that, John. And I definitely, I don't like it. Like, I'd rather go and I'd rather talk to someone face to face. I'd rather be sitting in a room with you two, right now, like, looking into your.
Oh, it's
your
way more
faces.
fun.
Oh yeah, like, it's
it is.
And so, yeah.
I have a solution for you. So if you want to grab someone's attention, but also be concerned about the distance, you grab a brick, write your note on it, you toss it to the window, and just, like, they get it, and you're distanced.
There you go.
And very few aerosols, I'm guessing, will be spread. So
yeah,
like, you're good.
I've been training some mongoose to do that for me, but bricks are probably a lot cheaper. Mongooses are pretty,
It's true.
I don't know if you guys are fans. I'm sorry, I'm going to derail
messy.
this. I don't know if you guys are fans of Far Side by Gary Larson.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it reminds me of this guy, opens up this note and a brick is, like, thrown into his window. It's like, brick's thrown through your window? Call Alex Glass. I was like, that's so dumb. I love Gary Larson.
It's a great marketing strategy.
Man.
Indeed.
Mark, what do you think?
I am going to get into the window business from this conversation.
Perfect.
And then
time for a career change.
Yep, this is what's happening. All right, see you guys.
Bye. Like and subscribe.
Like, exactly, for the last time. I think for me, I have been really bad at sharing the home load with Brianna. And I think I'm better now, like, that we've kind of gone into this school year and we're dipping our toes in the water, but I haven't seen kids yet. And so it's going to look a little bit different. But when we finished last school year, a lot of that workload fell on her. And I just was not a great husband, or I was not a great father during that time. And that was kind of a slap in the face for me, And so I'm trying to be way more intentional now, where my work day is pretty much gonna finish around 2:30. I'm not gonna push myself, and I'm not gonna commit to doing things, after that, after my contract times. But with that being said, I am probably still gonna work on some projects, and do things, just try to be aware of how many I'm taking on. And then also just trying to create new systems to make those projects work faster and to work more efficient. And I think for me, efficiency is what I'm going to be needing for this, like, coming year, and doing this distance learning. And how can I get the most out of, this thought or this idea or this whatever it is, maybe front load the time, And then the next time it's not going to take as long. For instance, we're doing video announcements for my school, and I was just telling you guys before we hopped on, and I'm really excited about them. But I spent probably a few hours like trying to create the intro and trying to do all that stuff and get the hits and but now I have that. So next time I do it, it's just more kind of plug and play. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know. I don't think that I ever go super extreme with emotions. That's probably not a great thing, but I like to try to keep a level head over most things. And I feel that I've been fairly level headed throughout this whole like COVID season and stuff. And I'm not someone to, just, I don't know, get super upset over the situation. I'm more of like, well, this is the way it is, and this is how we're going to do it for now. And I am fully embracing all the tech issues I'm probably going to have and everything that's going to go wrong. But
story time after this.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But
Or
I think
during.
for me, right. I think for me though, just my thought process going into just to do what I do, I'm going to smile and be like, "Yep, this is terrible. Let's try it again. Yep, this is not ideal. Nope, we John, I think it was you who posted this extremely long like Twitter rant of this teacher got kicked out.
It is so
oh my
good.
gosh, that was hilarious.
I just laughed.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we're at. And people who think that teachers have all the answers need to take a step back and realize that we don't. Need to take a step back and realize teachers are trying. But teachers also need to realize we can't use COVID and all this as an excuse to not try. And I think that one of the things I was in a leadership meeting, the training with my school for turnaround arts. And so I was talking with a couple of people from my school about it. And I think one of the things that I was talking about is they're like, come up with 3 words that like help describe this year. And it was like, I don't remember the exact words, but it was super cheesy. It was like, give your best. And some days my best is going to look different. Some days, I'm sure you heard just a few moments ago, Gemma came running up and just like, oh, and like, that's my best for now, and Brianna is with her and whatnot, but there will be times where Brianna has to work. And so grace needs to be given, grace needs to be shown, but there still needs to be that warm demander of high expectation with whatever we do. And so like, if I have you in my music classroom for 30 minutes and you give me 30 minutes of your undivided attention, or you give me, 30 minutes of your best attention, that's all I can ask for. Because with our students and our families at home, they're in the same situation. They got a lot going on. And Crystal, this out of the 3 of us, the best with the 2 boys is one will be doing one thing and then the other will maybe just torment. And then it's just like absolute chaos, it's because that's what boys do. And so, I don't know. I think I try not to get super hurt and super caught up in woe's me. And I don't know. I'm just gonna smile through. I know at the end of the day, like I got a beautiful wife, an amazing daughter, and I have a community who loves me and cares about me. And this is to anyone who feels that they don't have that. Like, I'm so sorry that you don't have that community, and I encourage you to join our community. Like, if you are a longtime listener or a first-time listener, or you've made it to this part in our podcast, thank you. But like, we can bounce ideas off each other. We can share in the fails, and I think that was the intent behind Chaotic Harmony, just in the first place. And now I feel that we're more important, or not important. We're more. I'm gonna say important because I can't think of a better word. Like, we're more important now than ever. Of just this community of the joy and challenges of elementary music making. And I don't know. It's an opportunity. And there was actually, I'm talking a lot. I apologize, but I'm gonna keep talking.
It's a nice change of pace, Mark.
I think so.
Our listeners are gonna be like, "Oh, that's what it is."
It's not at the end
Is that Mark? Oh, okay.
I know.
I was sitting in my my staff meeting today, and my principal was sharing something, and I had this thought of, we now have more opportunities for more parent engagement in their child's education than I think we've ever had. And one of the things that she was showing was like her son received this chart of like his turn in assignments, and he had one assignment that wasn't, but all the others weren't. And she's like, me as a mom and me as a parent, like I was like, well, what's wrong with this assignment? Like, where's this assignment? And I think for music teachers, I know for me specifically, it's so easy to get lost, and it's so easy to just kind of hide in your classroom and keep the music making in your classroom. And like, that's where we do it. But now, like, if we're doing things online and we have assignments that need to be turned in, parents can see, oh, my student isn't participating in music, or, oh, my student is participating in music. And that's something that they didn't have before. And so I think that that's a really cool thing that distance learning is allowing us to do, is to have that parent engagement within our subject and within our classroom. On the flip side, it's also a little nervous having a teaching a class where parents are maybe sitting right there, you know, like there's also that. There's that like, but it's their chance to see their student and their child work.
I want to take a quick break and thank my husband, Bryan, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information. Mark, as you were talking about what's possible, I have been thinking that whole, like for the last month, that's how I have to go into this school year, is what is possible now that wasn't possible before, and what's possible because we're in this situation. And unless I frame absolutely everything through that lens, I just get so overwhelmed with it's just like sadness, you know, of, oh, I can't, you know, do the job I'm good at and be in the room that I love with all of my kids that I adore. But you're right, there's a lot of opportunity in all of this. And so getting to that positive place of being able to reimagine is a really healthy thing. And I think that you're talking about balancing kids. I'm really struggling with that. Teaching is exhausting, and teaching virtually is a whole different level of exhausting. And even if we go back to some form of hybrid or in person, this whole COVID teaching thing is just a level of exhausting that I did not know was possible in our already very demanding careers. And so, I'm getting to the end of my teaching day, and granted it's week 1. And so the first week of teaching always kicks your butt really hard. And this is no exception, but I've been able to give them my full attention, and we are fully homeschooling. So I'm crafting their lesson plans. I compiled their curriculum. I've been guiding them through, and they've been really thriving in it. But now I have to rely on, a little of our roommates are helping us, and my husband to kind of help facilitate learning. And so I've had to release that. And I'm struggling with that feeling of I'm not being a very, present mom right now because I'm tired. I'm tapped out at the end of the day. So, but what is possible with our family life and as a parent now that wasn't possible before? And there's a lot there. It's but just learning to reimagine, we're doing a lot of campfire sing-alongs. We're playing music as a family a lot. We have a regular game night. The kids are learning how to cook, fully cook. Nice. I know. Yeah.
But Crystal, your description is the perfect picture of why teachers themselves can't do it all when it comes to education. You're saying that your husband's helping and that you have roommates in the home and they're helping out. And that's as cliche as it is, it does take a village to raise kids and to teach kids. And I think that I'm hoping at least that this COVID distance learning season, for those who are still doing distance learning, helps reshape the minds of exactly how important teachers are, and then how important parents' roles are, and siblings and family role is, you know? So people who have families around, it's so important that their family's involved with their child, and like that you're doing game nights, that you're doing those things. And I think it's so easy, and especially now, and to just put a screen in front of somebody, and that's their form of entertainment. And that's something Brianna and I have done way more than we'd like to with Gemma, especially because we were traveling and we were on airplanes. And so we had a hard conversation. It's like, we haven't been our best. And so Gemma's not getting our best. And we need to not use screens as a crutch. And we've done it the last few days very successfully, mostly because Brianna is amazing. But it helps us be aware of our screen usage when we're with her. And I think that family dynamic is something that we're losing, and it's not going to help if we lose that family dynamic, you know.
I agree. There's been a lot of stuff that I just wanted to jump in, but like,
sorry,
I wanted you guys. No, you're not. Don't apologize. It's just like there's so much. There's so much here. Like for example, like just jumping on Will's side earlier. Like part of me, I fully agree. It takes a. I don't want to overuse this word, but it takes a whole community. It does take a community to make a community exist. It takes people, and I feel like we're just stuck in this consumeristic mindset. If we just click, or if we just focus on just our job, or if we just do just television, this is the role I exist in, everything else will exist on their own. No, everything is interconnected, and we cannot just expect that kids will learn just by giving them to public education or private education or these teachers. Like, no, it takes everybody. And I'm concerned that people won't get it because life goes on. And so I hope that maybe if just a few people recognize this and instill it, that things can change.
I have two thoughts on that. I think it is an opportunity to change, and I think that a lot of people are seeing it, and they're going to step up. And some people are going to miss the opportunity for growth that all of this has been. This great, big, giant societal pause that we've all been forced to exist through is pushing us, I think, either towards massive growth or massive stagnation, and you have to choose which way you're going to go. And most of the people I know are growing in leaps and bounds, and I'm connecting with them more deeply, even though I'm not able to be with them face to face. And I think that that's really something special, and that gives me a lot of hope. And then the other thing that I take a lot of comfort in right now, as a teacher and as a mom and just as a human, I guess, is it's not about what we do in any one given day. This is how I think about, my less than perfect parenting on days where I rely on screens too much, or even, as a teacher, maybe things went wrong and a first grader shared his screen and couldn't figure out how to unshare his screen. And that happened today. And we tried to go into breakout rooms and only one person ended up in a breakout room by himself. That also happened today. Maybe it's not that one semi-disastrous meeting that matters. Maybe it's the sum total of all the love and care that we're able to provide and the sum total of our parenting. And the truth is, Mark, you're a loving dad you love the living daylights out of that little girl, and I love my kids to pieces, and we're doing our best. And I think that goes further than we could ever calculate, and goes for like every decision I make right now. I keep telling myself that it's like, I am not in control in any way, shape, or form, which is comforting because it means that it's not up to me to make one decision that will destroy people's lives, but it's also not up to me to make the one right decision that's going to save the universe. I just have to make the next right decision. And this is what I tell my health coaching clients who are like, oh, I ate Chick-fil-A and had a glass of, something off plan tonight.
You're not supposed to talk about our phone calls, Crystal.
And I'm like, okay, so are we going to take that, one off-plan meal and keep along that pattern, or are you going to make a different choice and just hop right back into structure then? It's the sum total, like one off-plan meal is not going to undo all your hard work. Right. I always say keeping going and like turning a cheat day into a cheat week is like getting a flat tire and slashing the other three. Like just keep going,
You're not supposed to do that.
Don't get stuck in the shame spiral is what I'm saying. It's not productive, fix the tire, move on.
Well, yeah. I guess it's really hard to like try to physically or not physically, just like an individual versus like a whole like society. Like you can't control the society. You can't control what it's. So it's like, definitely, we'll see what happens after COVID happens.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
Crystal,
I wanted to also...
Oh, go ahead, John.
Well, it was another... there was something else that was said. I forget by who. I think maybe by you, Mark. But I wanted to jump on. But I noticed a lot of like zigs and zags and timey-wimey stuff.
That's how we roll.
Did you want to address something that was in this immediate conversation?
Mine was just to Crystal really quick. Crystal, you said that you have less than perfect parenting that day. But that just kind of goes back to this whole, this is the best I have for today. And some days it looks like, you know what? Here's an iPad. Go. I can't right now. And that's what you have that day. And that's okay. There are going to be those days. Now, if every day is take an iPad, go, I don't want to be with you, then it's like, okay, there's there's deeper something there. But if it's that day, yeah. So going back to that whole we need to just recognize we're trying our best that day. Exactly.
Grace. I think just giving ourselves grace is super important. And
no more shame. All the grace.
I feel like you said something, Mark, where it was that we have so many opportunities. Yeah, we have so many opportunities here during this distance learning. And I feel like we get stuck in this rut of, I can't do it like I used to. And I recognize I'm speaking as a younger teacher. I'm speaking also as an individual who's privileged to understand how technology works, not to an amazing extent. I'm not really that well knowledgeable, but I know a good amount. But this is the time for opportunity for us to reimagine or use the tech that we have to reach out to kids that we couldn't do before. Because I'll be honest, I could not get, I've said this on, I don't know if it was this podcast or if it was on Victoria Bowler's podcast. That's a plug over there. You should check that out. But I don't remember where I said this, but we're trying to do this fully artist project where kids are able to create sound effects, create their own homemade sounds onto a blank video. When I say blank video, I mean blank as in sound. And the thing is, I could never do that for students because of many reasons. But first off, just having them bring their laptops from their classroom to the class to the music room, plus also having the district install those programs, dealing with district Wi-Fi, X, Y, and Z. Now they have the computers. There is no excuse. And so this is an opportunity. And there are so many opportunities, like you mentioned also, Mark, there are opportunities that we no longer have to do informances per se because the parents are there. We don't have to set a date. They are there constantly. They know what's happening in theory. So that's a caveat. A little asterisk.
The mom of that first grader who shared his screen didn't.
Yeah,
but that's where you have to just laugh it off and be like, dang, this is just okay.
I feel like that's the thing that I really encourage educators of all kinds to juggle with. Just this, hey, we're in a different situation. We have opportunities to do some cool stuff that we could not do before. There's a lot of stuff I can do. There's been a lot of frustrations with the learning system that we have. We're using Microsoft Teams. Teachers are frustrated with it because it was meant for businesses. It wasn't meant for educators, but we kind of hacksawed it to make it work for educators. That all said, it's a really good tool, and I'd love to use it when we go back in person. But I feel like educators just get stuck with, this technology is frustrating and hard, and I can't work with it. And I encourage teachers to just give themselves first off, push themselves to learn, but also give themselves the grace when they don't make it work. I think, as you were mentioning earlier, the push and the grace is super important that I think teachers need to embrace so that they have the courage to actually work with where they're at.
And I also just want to submit that we need to release our emotional well-being from how well technology serves us right now, because I know so many teachers that are just in tears every day, and it really breaks my heart because it's frustrating. I get frustrated too, but I've got my barriers up, my emotional barriers, much more than I ever have when I've been teaching, because I can do, this much compared to what I can do face to face in the classroom because of all of the many layers of barriers, internet issues and device inequity and, the ability of a 5-year-old to figure out, how to use the computer and the platform that we have to use that's being provided by the district. There's so many different things that are just complicated, and we just have to let go of those. But something that I'm really encouraged to see is that the kids really do respond to seeing us. Even the ones I haven't met before, even my brand new kindergartners, even my brand new students have been very receptive to building relationship, because just like it always is, that's what teaching comes down to, is that question that they all have in their eyes when they walk into the room is, do you actually care about me? And so even through a screen, the answer can be a resounding yes. We can still love them. We can still find ways to let them know, I care about you. I care about whether you show up. I care about whether you're trying this activity out, and give that care forward. And that's what we can do. And if I'm able to do that and maybe give my kiddo like a little spark of joy in their day, then I've done my job, and that feels really good. That's a win.
I think that's a good place to end off, personally.
I think so.
All right.
Feels good.
Cool. Yeah. Good.
But then by saying that, I can't exactly do a hard left turn. I mean, I can actually,
So we take a hard left turn.
I was trying to use this as a breaking the fourth wall, Mark. Gosh, work with me. Okay.
If we were in person, I could look in your eyes and see that you wanted to do that.
I don't know. Sometimes I like to obfuscate just for the funsies. But anyways, for the obvious turn, I talk about community a lot. I've said a lot this word, but it's. I say it because I mean it. Like, you guys have made this thing really cool. This journey that we've kind of we just wanted to talk, and it's become something that's much bigger than what we ever planned. And we do appreciate each and every one of you that's been listening to this podcast, either from day one or day to day. And we'd love for this community to grow, and the best way for that to happen is to send us a review. And speaking of reviews, I'd like to pull up a review. But first off, you can leave a review at iTunes or Spotify, or actually, I don't know Spotify if you can leave reviews, but you can at Twitter, and like on Twitter at Spotify, and say, hey, I like Chaotic Harmony. There you go. That's my review. Okay. But make sure you just leave a review. It helps with visibility so that more people, more educators that are trying to navigate this new world, or this 2020 world, I guess, can just be part of this group. I do want to give I would like to give a shout out to one of the reviews. There's this individual, C. Venegan. I want to see if I pronounce it properly. I'm not sure.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Cool. This podcast is providing me with much more than calm during the storm of online teaching. Crystal, Zoe, Mark, and John bring joy, clarity, and constant reminders of why the work I do as a music educator is so much more important than an online lesson. Thanks for the opportunity to breathe, smile, and dream. Yes. Thank you, Stephen Hagen, except it's without an H, and Mark is with a C.
That's fine. My whole life has been Mark with a K.
No, we start now. We start today.
It's fine.
We appreciate Stephen Hagen, but we start today.
Thanks for reaching out with the reviews, you guys. I would love to do our song of the week and show off what Jonathan got to do with Switchfoot.
But before that, also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. There are a lot of different facets that you can reach us. We're on podcasts, we're on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Also, guys, if you have any questions, you are always welcome to email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. We do want to read your stuff. We do read eventually, so please send it our way. Now, Crystal, you had something to share.
Quarantine Song of the Week. Yeah, Jonathan's been working really hard all summer long, and he has the ear of Switchfoot, ladies and gentlemen. And so Switchfoot saw his amazing kids, and he got to collaborate with them over the summer. So I think that should absolutely be our quarantine show-off song. So we'll be tacking that on.
Boom.
Now.
They're singing it right now next door. Here we go.
So I can feel it. Turn it up so I can be near it. Baby says she's got that feeling. Moonwalking on the ceiling. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Alright. Turn it up so I can feel it. Loud enough so I can hear it. Baby's in that slow motion. Moonwalking on the ocean. It's how we float. Yeah. Feet ain't even touching ground. It's how we float. Yeah. Flying at the speed of sound. I'll be rolling like a jet pilot. Ain't no gravity to try to fight it. It's how we float. Yeah. We ain't ever coming down. Don't you need some more to lean on? Don't you need that taste of freedom? It don't take no education. All you need is that invitation. It's alright. It's alright. Alright. It's how we float. Yeah. Feet ain't even touching ground. It's how we float. Yeah. Flying at the speed of sound. I'm in orbit like a jet pilot. Ain't no gravity to try to fight it. It's how we float. Yeah. We ain't ever coming down. Away from the crowds where you realize the herd's insecure of the free mind. So don't let them tell you what to feel like. They can't bring me down, can't bring me down. Money's gonna run away the hardest. Money's gonna leave you broken hearted. But money can't finish what we started. It can't bring me down, can't bring me down. It's how we float. Yeah. Feet ain't even touching ground. It's how we float. Yeah. Flying at the speed of sound. I'm in orbit like a jet pilot. Ain't no gravity to try to fight it. It's how we float. Yeah. We ain't never coming down.
Okay. Drew, what are we doing?
Hey, we are doing something really, really fun right now. We're at an elementary school that we're going to surprise with a performance. They do not know we're coming, and we've hidden in a room beside them.
Hiding in elementary schools is not something we normally do.
They're singing it right now next
We're going to
door.
surprise them. Here we go. And do a song together.
This is awesome.
Oh my God, my voice crying. I can't stop. Oh my God. Tears everywhere. Oh my God.
Well, thanks guys for being a part of this. Thank you, community, for being a part of this. Question mark, where can people find you?
Question mark is always fun to say. I am on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, all under the name Mr. Keehmer.
And Crystal?
Find all my stuff at crystalpridmore.com.
And you can find me at Mr. Seligman at MrSeligman on Twitter or Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram at CH Classroom. YouTube's a little special, I believe. It's Chaotic Harmony Classroom, or what is? Yeah, something special like that. You can at Google also. It's on the stop that nonsense. Don't do that. Actually, they'll probably whip us. And also, you can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Thanks, guys, so much.
Thanks.
Be well. Happy 2021.
Bye.
And 20 school year. Whatever it is.
Time.
Bye. The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore, Jonathan Seligman, Zoe Kumagai, and Marc Keehmer. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Bryan Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com.